Hello everyone. Quick intro to this video so that it makes sense. I was going through some files on my NAS and on my SD cards recently and came across, so far, 9 tech vlogs that I never uploaded. I don't know if I thought they were bad quality or I just forgot or what the issue was, but anyway, I've got them here, and instead of just deleting them because they're old, and instead of uploading them one by one because they're old, um, I'm just gonna amass them all into one video, which is this video, and let you watch them that way. So if this is something that interests you, looking back at my past tech vlogs, maybe you've been with the channel for a long time, then you might want to watch this. It could be interesting to look back on what I was doing back then. But if you're a new subscriber or something, none of this will make any sense to you, and you'll be probably a little confused. So yeah, that's what this video is, and as you're about to hear me say in the next 9 videos, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've done a tech vlog for you, so let's go ahead and do one right now. It's currently the end of June 2017, and a couple things have changed inside of my office area. And this isn't 100% the way it's going to look, because, let's be honest, it never is. But it's the way that it's going to look for a little while. At least I intend to keep it that way. So this should be nothing new. I laid down my IKEA shelving unit, put the iMac, the 3D printer on top of it, so that is sitting there, ready to be used. And again, don't know when the last time you saw this was, but I had an IKEA side table there, which I was using as a server rack. I actually purchased a real metal server rack recently, so there'll be a video maybe on that one when I finally get it and assemble the rack itself and put stuff into it. So that clears up a little area there. The rack is going to live in the back of the living room because it's kind of out of the way and it'll be quiet back there. Underneath the desk, it's clean. Look, I can put my feet under here. iSub is hooked up to the iMac, which maybe I'll demonstrate it right now. Why the hell not? Let's go launcher and then iTunes, and then I'll play some music very briefly. Underneath there's a Panasonic Toughbook that's waiting for something. I don't know what to do with it. It doesn't work at all. It's completely dead. I just need to find a cool way to destroy it, I guess. My 2 safes, so I have one with hard drive, one with papers, and then cords. And then the underside of the desk is clean, so I just got rid of a lot of clutter, which was the intention. Right now the gaming PC is up here. Normally it lives in the living room, and I play games over Steam in-home streaming, because it stays out there because I have a VR set up. I've got my test monitor there, a second monitor for the iMac, well, a third monitor, I guess. Right there, there's the iMac, and then there's the second screen. Some random crap. So, yeah, and there's me. Look at me. I'm liking the way this looks. It looks very simple. There's an artsy shot of the iMac. Nice. So yeah, that's what's going on over here. Now, if you're not bored and you haven't left already, you might find this interesting. I found this at the thrift store. $5. It's a Casio Tone MT86. It's an analog synthesizer, which is really cool, and it's from 1983. And it still works 100%. None of the... I mean, this one I took off because it was sticky, but everything works. It's not missing anything. It's just a beautiful, beautiful machine. And it sounds great too. I mean, can't really sound bad, but it sounds good. Yeah, I was just amazed that it was there. And apparently these things fetch quite a bit of money on eBay. Upwards, I've seen them sell as high as $50 without the case. This one I could probably get $25, $30 or something if somebody wanted it. Yeah, just a really neat little thing. And I don't know, I have some server stuff, but it's all in the other room and it's all a mess, so I'm not going to show you that right now. I almost forgot to play some music here. Now, I don't know. Oh, let's find something that's not going to be copyright. I don't know. We'll just play this. So it's the sub's down right now, just because I didn't want to have it up too high, but it sounds really good and really clear. I also replaced these two speakers recently. I had known one of them was bad, but I didn't realize how freaking bad it was. It was actually so rotted out that when I touched it and like pushed it in, it just stayed there and then very slowly popped back out. There was just nothing left of it. So the speakers sound really good, the iSub sounds superb, and the iMac G3 is doing well. So I guess that's enough of a little update video for now. Not much is going on at the moment, just work and playing video games after I get home from work, so that's about it. If you see this video before tonight when it's posted, which most of you won't, I'm going to be doing a live stream, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, with that said, I'll see you in the next video, and thank you very much for watching. Hello everyone, this is a super quick video to let you know to look out for this keyboard on David Murray's channel, the 8-Bit Guy, or 8-Bit Keys, used to be the iBook Guy. I'm going to be donating this to him because, well, I don't need it anymore, and it's exactly the thing that he is really interested in. It's a Casio Tone MT68. It's a little analog synthesizer from 1983, I think. And apart from missing one of the little sliders right here, absolutely perfect condition. It's got very minimal scratching, no broken plastics. It's a very solid little instrument. And really, I just wanted to, you know, let people know that he's got a channel out there. I really like it, and if you see this on there, you know where it came from. So I just think that's super cool. I've never donated to a channel before, so I'm very excited to have one of my things benefit someone else. So that's it. Just wanted to let you know, look out for that one on his channel, the 8-Bit Keys channel, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone. I've just got back from picking up some really cool stuff, in my opinion, and I'd like to show it to you. So, what we're looking at in the middle is one of 3 Mac Minis that I picked up today. This Mac Mini here, and this one, which I actually have opened up right here, which I'll get to in a second, were both sold to me as non-working. I bought them for $5 a piece, thinking, you know, I can at least use the hard drive and RAM out of them, and I'll have a case to put something in. But they both work, which is odd. I've got this one right here. This is a 2007 Mac Mini, 2 gigahertz. Actually, I think that's what they both are. And it's got 2 gigs of RAM. What else? It's running Lion. It's really good. It's fully functional as far as I can tell, and I haven't had any issues with it yet. So there is one Mac Mini that I got for $5. Really cool. Disk drive works as well. This one, as I said, is another Core 2 Duo. It's a 2.0 gigahertz, and this one was also sold to me as non-working. And you can see kind of there's a dent in there. You can see the gouge right there out of the top. That's quite a big gouge out of the top. And I think something heavy was dropped on it, or it was dropped on something, because the disk drive is warped to hell. Like, holy crap. I don't know. Let's see, this is a flat object right here, so you can see there's quite a big gap. So I tried to stick a CD in there. I managed to get it in there, and then it wouldn't come out. So I took it apart and found out that yes, it is indeed broken. So I'm going to be taking this apart. Maybe I'll try to fix it. Maybe I'll just replace it. I think that's actually what I'll end up doing. But yeah, this Mac Mini, other than the disk drive not working, works just fine. So I got that as well. There's a third Mac Mini. This one's a 2009. I actually paid the most money for this. So I paid, as I said, $5 for each of the non-working, which are actually perfectly, well, almost perfectly working. I paid $75 for this. It's a 2009 Mac Mini, 2.53 gigahertz. It's got 6 gigs of DDR3 and a 160 gig hard drive, which I'll probably replace with an SSD. And it's in really good shape too. Very little discoloration, scratching. I think the only major issue with the, like, cosmetically is there's a little bit of scratching right there on the top. But other than that, it's great. Just needs a little bit of a cleaning. It also came with a power supply that was included in the 75. So I figured, you know what, that's not a bad deal at all. And then here is a Power Mac G5. But it's not just any Power Mac G5. It is the, well, I almost said king, but it's not quite the best. It's the queen of Power Mac G5s. It is the 2.7 gigahertz model, which is liquid cooled. This one happens to have 8 gigs of RAM. I think it may be from the factory because, well, let's see if it says down here. It doesn't say, it says it has 512 megs, but these are all the same sticks of RAM, all the same model. 8 gigs total. There is a GeForce 6800, I think. Is that what it says on there? Yeah, 6800. It says 6800 on the sticker, but it's actually a GT model, which is a little better, I think. And yeah, that's sweet. That's not the best graphics card that you can put in them, in these G5s, but it is up there. It is definitely one of the better ones. The liquid cooling, I have taken this off, but I'm not going to do it right now, is perfectly fine. There's no corrosion, there's no signs of wear on it, like where it may have started to leak. Nothing at all. And there's 2 hard drives in there. One of them's a 250, the other one I don't actually know. I think it's an 80 gig. And it works. Let's see if I can... Oh, it's unplugged right now. It works. It's really loud. I've never owned a 2.7 or any of the liquid-cooled Macs, but it is definitely noisy. However, things like YouTube videos that would have been impossible on, you know, a 1.8 or a 2.0 gigahertz G5 actually run pretty smoothly at about, you know, can't do 60 FPS videos, but 720 at 30 FPS is great. It doesn't have a problem at all. And most importantly, with any G5, the case is not beat to hell. It needs some cleaning, yes, but that's expected. The case is very, very slightly bent. Like, I'm talking very slightly bent. You can see the top is a little bit farther that way, and there is a small gap at the top. But really, I mean, you don't get much better than this, especially for one of these 2.7s, because they are so damn heavy. And yeah, as I said, everything on it works, disk drive works, everything's fine. So yeah, those were my finds for today. I'm very excited to have them, and very excited to get these Mac Minis up and running a bit more smoothly. I'm going to reinstall an operating system on there. I don't really care for whatever was on there before, and I'll bump them up and probably max them out, actually. And if I find an SSD somewhere, I might put one of those in there as well. So yeah, Mac Minis, Super G5, I'm pretty pleased with that. That is it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everyone. It's been a very long time since I last did one of these tech vlogs, or any video for that matter, so there's a lot to go over, so strap in, grab some popcorn, or whatever, and enjoy the video. So, Got a lot going on here and a couple of things that need some explanation. So first of all, let's look over here at my main setup here. You can see I've got the 27-inch iMac and a 21.5-inch iMac. My school discarded a bunch of these iMacs. They were going to be sent off for recycling, so I grabbed a few and gave most of them away. I didn't bother selling them. I just gave them away to friends and family. And I've got one here. They are the highest end. They were the built-to-order models, i7 2.8 and 16 gigs of RAM, terabyte hard drive. They're pretty awesome machines. And on the other side, I'm going to put another one. Now, it's going to be modified, and actually it's going to be pretty much 100% modified other than the screen. I've got it right here, and what I'm planning on doing, and the part's actually arriving later today, is, as you can see, I ripped all the internals out, and I'm replacing them with different internals, but ones that will still make this thing functional as an external monitor. So I've ordered an inverter and a controller board so that I can drive the original screen that was in here, and I'll connect it up using a female, what the hell is it called? Oh my god, I can't, mini DisplayPort connector. So you can see right there, there's a Thunderbolt port that's physically the same as a mini DisplayPort. So what I'm going to end up doing is adapting it so that you can plug in a mini DisplayPort connector and use it as a monitor. Back here I've also got USBs hooked up, and they all actually work, which is pretty cool. So there's going to be a built-in USB hub, and out of the Ethernet port I'm going to hook up a USB 3 Type B connector, which will allow me to connect the USB hub, as well as some other things, to the PC with just one cable. So, in addition to, as I said, the little hub that I've created down here, there's a couple other things that are going to be very interesting. First one is that I've wired up the internal card reader to work over USB, so I just have to get the cable in there, plug that in, then I have an SD card reader. I didn't bother cabling it up myself, I just bought a little USB adapter for the optical drive, which goes right here, so I can have a functioning optical drive. And the iSight, I haven't quite got it working yet, but I am going to hook that up via USB, so I can have, I can pretty much repurpose everything that was in here. So the camera's going to work, the optical drive will work, SD card will work. I've got the speakers hooked up to this little, I think it's a 10-watt amplifier. That works just perfectly, and I'll show you around here. The headphone jack is now turned into an audio input. I probably should have done it in the input jack, but I didn't bother. Yeah, basically, this is totally torn apart, not finished at all, but I really wanted to share some of my thoughts on this. This, by the way, was a dead iMac. It had a bad board in it, bad motherboard. See, bad motherboard, bad power supply, bad hard drive. And the screen still works, though, so that's why I've taken it apart and kind of cannibalized it for parts. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that one. That probably won't get its own video, but I will discuss it later once it is finished. I've got a lot of freebies from work, and that's what a lot of this is going to be about, just updates on things that I've received. Today I brought home a couple things I found in the bin. This is a Razer, what is it, Black Widow Ultimate. It's got Cherry MX Blues, and it's, you know, very nice clicky mechanical keyboard. I think it was thrown out because the LED under the O does not work, and the keys are a little bit worn out. Other than that, I tested it, it works fine, so I got myself a keyboard. In here is a very old Quadro card out of a Mac, and it's out of a Mac, which is pretty much the only reason why I saved it, because I could probably put it in one of my Macs. Also had this extension on it, which is nice. I have a couple cards I'd like this extension for, but I don't have one. So even if this card ends up being dead, I can still use that extender for it. Don't know if it works or not, but we'll give that a shot. I think it's a Quadro FX 4000, FX 4500. So it's quite a slow card by today's standards. I think it's only a 512 meg card. 2 hard drives that were in the bin. I'm almost certain that they're dead, but I decided to bring them home anyway, just in case. We'll just change over here. I removed the 2006 iMac from being my 3D printer host. And the reason why I did that was because the software support for, the software that I need to run the printer that's actually useful. I mean, there is software that works on that iMac, but it's old and outdated. The software that I would want to use with this printer doesn't run on Snow Leopard, which is the highest that thing can take. So instead, I've replaced it with a little Mac Mini over there, which you can kind of see. It's running Windows right now, because all the best software for 3D printing seems to be on Windows, and it runs Windows very well, and it's a nice addition to my 3D printer setup. And while I'm on the topic of that, I actually picked up 4 Mac Minis, a G4 and 3 Intel Minis, from a guy who said that they were all dead. And I think the problem that he had when he was testing them was that he had a bad power supply he was testing them with, because all of them work perfectly. And I've added the other 2 Intel ones to my server rack, and they're performing server tasks. In this bin, again, that I got from work, those cables are actually mine, I just put them in there, but I've got 7 or 8 of these, I think, GTX 550 Ti's, all working. I've got a bunch of 1 terabyte hard drives that I need to test. I've got wireless cards that are actually really useful. So they're not just wireless, actually. They're wireless. I don't know what this is called, PCI, mini PCI or something. They take in basically what you would find in a laptop, but these are actually really nice because they allow you to upgrade it to pretty much anything else. And it'd be kind of interesting to know if you can use an SSD in these. I don't know if it's the same kind of connection. But it's also got a USB port on it, as you can see there. So if you want to hook up an internal Bluetooth or a USB Wi-Fi stick to the inside, you can do so very easily. And yeah, so I got a bunch of those, and not that I'll probably use them ever, but a bunch of gigabit NICs. They're PCI, which is why I say I probably won't use them, but I still got it there. And this is what I have been working on recently. So oh, you can see me in the camera. I could have had as many of these as I wanted, and I kind of did that. These cases are Antec 900 cases. They were chock full of good hardware, so I stripped the hardware out because I really didn't have room or a want for the cases. So the hardware that's in these, with the exception of this particular one, this one's a newer revision, they've got Gigabyte X79 UD5 motherboards, which you can see here. I've got 6 of them stacked up that are going to be used for things and then probably sold eventually. Oh, actually, I've got 6 of them here, and then I've got 2 of them being used as servers in my server rack, running virtualization software. The ones in my server rack, I took RAM out of these ones, which each originally had 16, so both of those ones in my server rack have 32 gigs of DDR3 running in quad channel mode, and these boards can take up to 64. CPUs are i7-3820s, so they're a little older, but they're no slouch by any means. They're still very good. The heat sinks on these are the copper slug core with aluminum fins. Not really a stock Intel heatsink, but it's an Intel branded heatsink. And yeah, these things are freaking tanks, man. I tell you what, they are awesome. So I'm gonna probably sell the rest of these. I'm gonna save, I think, 1. So I'll sell 5 of them. They'll be up on eBay. Don't ask me if I'm gonna sell them through YouTube. Only on eBay. Probably sell the CPUs and boards separately so I can get a little more money for them, unless somebody requests that I do them together. I'll probably sell the GPUs as well because I don't have a need for 8 550 Ti's. And this one is going to actually become my new main PC. So you might remember that I have a gaming PC right now that's got a GTX 1070 in it. i5 4690K, etc. And that thing is very fast, but the CPU is actually not as fast as the 3820, which was kind of surprising to me. If I were to overclock my 4690, it would probably be faster, but I can also overclock this 3820 to be faster than my i5. So I'm gaining a lot of speed by using this CPU. Also, I've got 32 gigs of RAM in here, but because it's running in a different mode, my other one only supports dual channel. This one, I think I'm correct in saying this supports quad channel because it's got 8 RAM slots. I think. Maybe. But anyway, it supports more RAM. First of all, it supports 64 gigs as opposed to 32, and the RAM runs a bit faster. Hello everyone. It is Tuesday, September 5th, 2017, and I have some very exciting news that is not necessarily related to the tech vlog, but it's something I'd like to mention because I'm really excited about it. And that is that I'm going to be moving in to a house that we're going to own. It's not in my name, I guess, but it'll be our house. So that's really nice. This apartment is okay, but some of the people who moved in recently are less than desirable, and it'll be nice to have our own place. So I'm really looking forward to that, and you can expect to see some changes, obviously, in the state of the room, because it'll be a completely different room, and there'll be lots of vlogs at some point showing you my new setup. So that'll be in the beginning of November. It doesn't close. The sale doesn't close until the 31st of October, so we got a little while to wait, but it's confirmed. It's all, well, it's not all paid for, but we put money down, so it's almost ready to go, and that'll be very exciting. Anyway, on to the tech vlog part. This is somewhat related to what I just said about moving, and it's that I'm gonna be trying to clear out some of my stuff. So one nice thing about this house is that it has I'd like to call it a basement, but it's more of a cellar, if you know what the difference is between those. It's a basement is a little bit more finished. A cellar is usually not necessarily a dry area all the time, but there's a room down in the cellar that is not finished, but it's done up so that it is a dry room, and it's got tons of shelving built out of it's very sturdy shelving built out of 2x4s. It's not going anywhere. It's screwed into the wall, it's screwed into the floor, the concrete floor, so it is very sturdy. And I'm going to be moving a lot of my stuff from, of course, here and my parents' house as well into that room. It is a dry room, as I think I just said, so I'm not too worried about putting computers down there. But with that said, there is a lot of stuff that I honestly haven't touched since I've owned it, and I'd like to get rid of some of it. So one thing, for example, that I'm working on, well, it's actually almost done, is this AST Adventure 200. This will be going up for sale. If any of you in my YouTube audience are interested, you can have it for the cost of shipping. Just check the date of this video. If it's like a year after the video has been posted, don't bother. I don't have this machine anymore, I can guarantee you that. But if you're looking at this when it's posted, by all means, contact me. I'd love to get rid of it. It is fully functional. It works just fine. It's got a good hard drive. Everything's good. I just reinstalled the operating system, so the deal I had with the person who I got it from is that I was to clear off any data. So I saved drivers and some programs, but all their personal data, that's all wiped off. Anyway, that'll be going up for sale shortly. If you're interested, let me know. And there's a lot of other things I'll be getting rid of at my parents' house. I've got some really big compact servers that they're kind of cool. I might keep one of them, but the other one's definitely going away because I don't need two of them. They're really old. They're Pentium 2 and Pentium 3 towers, and they weigh about 80 pounds, I think. They're quite monsters. So that's what I'm doing with some stuff right now. I'm just listing it on eBay and getting rid of it. And this is a first world problem, if you've ever heard one. I have a VR, a virtual reality PC, out in the living room, and it's a lot more powerful as is than this thing I have down here is my desk PC. The first world problem is that I don't feel like carrying that VR PC in here every time I want to use it, because it's just kind of inconvenient. So, what I did was I took that thing you saw under the desk, and I searched up the board, found a CPU that would work in it, and found that there's a Xeon CPU that is 8 cores, 16 threads. It is more than twice as fast as the CPU that's in here now. And yes, even though Xeons aren't really designed for gaming, it'll still help me. Even single core performance is better than this thing. So I'm really excited to get that in. This will be my main, well, it's already my main rig, but it'll be my main everything. It also allows me to use memory. Let's see, it has higher memory bandwidth than the CPU that's currently in here can handle, which would be very nice because it's got quad channel memory in there. Other than that, I really just wanted to tell you about the house because I'm really excited about that. I'm really just trying to get rid of as much useless stuff as I can. Some of it, there's a lot of things at my parents' house that I will be keeping because it has some sentimental value to me. For example, the computer I used growing up, I still have that. That I'll definitely keep no matter what. But there's other things, like I've got a couple of older, I think I've got like 3 486 machines. I don't need 3 of them, I just need the best one of them. I'm not going to use all 3 or 4 or whatever I have all at once. I just need one good one. So I'll keep the best and get rid of the rest. That's kind of my motto for the next couple months. The same thing goes for iBooks. I did an iBook refurbishing project a couple of years ago, and I've got, I think, 7 iBook G3s. They're all different. They're all varying CPU speeds, but like if you have a 400, you have a 500, 600 megahertz iBook G3, 700. You've seen them all. They're all pretty much the same. So again, I'll keep the best, get rid of the rest of those, and really just kind of slim down everything I have. Even though I will have more storage space in terms of square footage and shelving, I don't want to clutter it up right away. I want to, have the next 5 to 10 years to clutter it up, but I don't want to. It'll make it easier for us to move, and it'll make it easier for me to reorganize stuff if I just get rid of some stuff now. And I think that just about does it for this one. There's nothing else I can really think to discuss right now. One last thing, I guess. I'll end on this. As you've probably seen before, I've got this pair of Voodoo 2 cards. I think these are Voodoo 2. I cleaned them up. I actually gave them a bath in hot soap or warm soapy water and some isopropyl alcohol. Cleaned them up, and they look absolutely immaculate right now. They look great. But you'll notice, I need the other one. And maybe you won't because the lighting is kind of terrible here. But some of these, that's better like that. Both of these cards, they were sitting in the bottom of a computer case when I got them, and even though they look okay, they are actually missing some things. For example, there's a capacitor that goes there, so you see it's diagonal to that chip, and this card has it there. There's that, which is missing right there, kind of diagonal and up to the 3DFX chip, and it is there. So I need to find a way to find out what these capacitors are, or maybe find a schematic for these cards, something to help me out with that. And you know what? Maybe I won't do that after all, because this is literally the first time I've noticed it, but I'm looking at it now, and although the camera won't focus, you can see right about near the tip of the screwdriver, there are some bent pins. Well, that just makes me really sad. God damn it. Well, anyway, they didn't work in the first place, and they were literally in the bottom of a bin, so I'm not I'm not too worried about that. I guess I'll sell these for parts as is if somebody wants them. Otherwise, they'll just kick around here till I get around to fixing them. And I will end on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you're as excited as I am for the upcoming months where I'll be moving and changing things around. I know that I'm very excited. And I'll end it here. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everyone. I've got some cool recycling saves for you today. Here is one system. This is the Sun Ultra 20, which I know absolutely nothing about. Here are two other ones, which are the rest of them, Sun Ultra 24 workstations, which I also know nothing about, other than the fact this one seems to have a Core 2 quad in it, as depicted by the sticker on the front. I know nothing about them, as I just said. I don't know if they work. I don't know what they have inside of them. I don't know if we're going to find porn on them. I honestly have no idea. I would not be surprised, but actually I would be surprised since these are business workstations anyway. I've got everything plugged in, and let's make sure the power is on. We'll go ahead and start it up and take a look at what these systems look like in the BIOSes, and then I'll take the side panel off and take a look inside physically. Wow! That is really loud. I was not expecting that. Holy shit. Okay. This, by the way, if you can't already tell, is a monitor. I've converted this iMac into a screen that I can use with any VGA or DVI device, just in case you're curious as to why you're looking at this on an Apple. This is a Sun Ultra 20 M2, so it probably stands for Mark II or the second revision, whatever. BIOS date of 10/24/07, so this was probably sold sometime in 08, or maybe the BIOS was flashed. It's got a dual-core AMD Opteron. Wow, I've never had an Opteron of any kind. Actually, that's a lie. I had some very old Opterons from about 2000, so that's kind of neat. 2.2 gigahertz. Does it have two? Oh, yes it does. There are two Ethernet ports on the back. So Mac 0 and those both seem to be Intel MAC addresses. I can't actually tell. I'm just making that up. Let's see, what else do we have? CPU configuration, hyperthreading frequency. What else do we have? SATA controller. It's got a RAID controller built into it from NVIDIA. How much RAM do we have? What? I'm trying to... Is that 2 gigabytes? I think that's 2 gigabytes. Or is that 20 gigabytes? I can't tell right now. I'm very tired. Alright, because that'd be 1 megabyte, that's 4. Yeah, it's probably just 2 gigabytes. I'm not going to get that lucky, am I? No password. Awesome. Voltages. All good. Yep. Does not seem to have a hard drive in it, or else it would probably tell me that there was one. It's got a DVD-ROM drive, and it will boot off the NVIDIA network interface. And that looks like about it. Let's restart it and just make sure it doesn't, I don't know, boot into something. I don't know what it would boot off of. Maybe there's an internal device. Kind of doubt it's going to do anything. Give it a second. Give it a couple seconds. Give it a couple minutes. Is it still on? Yes, it is. Well, maybe I killed it. I don't know, but we'll take a look at it later. I really doubt it's going to boot into anything. I must have to hold this power button down. I just noticed that this Sun box reminds me a lot of the Power Mac G5. The aluminum construction and the cheese grater holes in the front. It's kind of humorous. Alright, let's very quickly tip this thing over and take off the side panel. High production, video production values we have here, doing one-handed computer work. And what do we have in here? Gotta stand up for this one. So we're looking at it upside down, of course, so this is the top of the computer. We have a, I can't tell how many watts, 400 watts max, obviously. There's an IDE optical drive. That looks like all the front panel connectors. That's kind of a neat little way to do it. I like that. It's got a... is that a RAID controller board? No, it's just a backplane. And yeah, it is just a backplane. There's two SATA connections that come off there, so maybe you can hot swap drives in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any of the caddies that would have gone in here, or the bays, whatever you want to call them. So, that kind of sucks, but I'm sure I'll be able to make do with it anyway. What do we have for RAM? I'm going to assume this is 2 gigs, because it looks like DDR2. Actually, is it DDR? No, it is DDR2. 1 gig, okay, yeah. Don't know why I was thinking 20 gigs. Jesus, that would be a lot of memory. And an odd amount of memory as well. Oh my god, I can't look through the camera and do this at the same time. Aha! 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All that is good. So underneath here, this is a pretty beefy looking heatsink. We've got the dual-core Opteron, 2.2 gigahertz. The graphics card is a GeForce 8600 GTS, so it's nothing special, probably just is only designed to give you 2 monitors. That's about all it could do nowadays. I like the amount of expansion on here. It's got 3 PCI, 2 PCI Express, and PCI Express 1X on there. Here's the heatsink for probably the North Bridge. I don't actually know. I don't recall which one is which. North or South Bridge, one of the things is under there. Yeah, that's neat. And look at that fan. That's got to be a... it's probably a Sun fan. I know that they... oh, it says on the top, dummy. Sun FRU. Maybe it's a Delta fan? I don't know. But that is a quite substantial piece of equipment there. As you could tell when I turned it on, it was really loud. So let's put this thing back together. Sun Ultra 20 M2 workstation. It gives you a whole map of everything, how to connect everything, in case you didn't already know. Let's set the camera down for in one moment. I'll put the side panel back on, and then lift up one of the other workstations, and then we'll take a look at that one. Ouch. Alright. So they look identical, so I'm just going to put one of them up here. This is the Sun Ultra 24. Seems to be... maybe that's plastic now that I think of it. I can't actually tell. This one is very dusty, which you can't quite make out on camera, but it definitely is dusty. Actually, the chassis looks like it's... yeah, it's definitely plastic. I don't know about this metal or this graded piece, but this is definitely plastic. It is white. The other one was silver, so that's not just the camera fooling you. I'm going to go ahead and plug everything in. Keyboard, mouse, video, and we'll give it some power. And we'll go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. This one, interestingly, while we're back here, seems to have a lot of audio ports on the back of it. Alright, let's go ahead and power it on in 3, 2, 1, go. Not nearly as loud, very nice. It dimmed my lights a little bit, which was kind of funny. Alright, we still have an orange light on the monitor. Now it's green, so that means we have... I'm going to assume there's nothing in here, so we're just going to go right into the BIOS if we can. Hopefully we can. Sun Ultra 24. Maybe it's a revision 1 of 0 or 1 of 1. I don't know anything about these, as I said. What else do we have? BIOS revision 1.5 from 2008. Core 2 Quad Q9653 GHz. That is quite impressive. That is not a CPU to be laughed at by any means. No SATA hard drives detected, unfortunately, but kind of expectedly. 4 gigs of RAM. What else? This one also has 2 gigabit network interfaces. That's quite an interesting processor temperature right there. Proc hot, negative 49C. I don't know what the hell that means. I'm going to assume everything's okay and just ignore that for now. Yeah. No password set. Awesome. Awesome. Let's go ahead and Control-Alt-Delete it. And hang the system. I don't know what happened. Turn it off, turn back on. I don't think it's going to boot into anything, but we will give it a shot anyway. So, plans for these machines. The ones with Core 2 quads in them, I'm probably actually going to use. The Opteron one, I haven't really decided yet. Opterons, from my experience, although they were much older ones, were quite the power hogs. So I'm not sure if I really want to be running one of those 24/7. Not that these are exactly power efficient, but they're a little better than those Opterons. So one of them might end up being a server, because this one says it has 4 hard drive bays in it. Ooh, somebody's been in this one, definitely. Probably take that hard drive out. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I've got them, so we'll figure out something. Power supply, 530 watt power supply, neato. 4 gigs of RAM in the form of 2 sticks. That looks like it's also DDR2. We have a SATA optical drive. Nice, so that's a bit of an upgrade from the other one. Same sort of front panel connectors. There is the CPU heatsink, which also looks pretty beefy. It's obviously for an Intel one instead, so it's a little different, but yeah, that looks kind of nice. Got the same big old fan right there. As for expansion, I don't know what that thing is right there next to the fan connector but above the PCI. That's probably some sort of management port. I'm not really sure. It looks like I don't know, if you've ever worked with laptops that are older that had a modem inside of them, that kind of connection that you put the modem onto, that's kind of what that reminds me of. It's got 2 full-length PCI Express slots, a 1X. There are only 2 PCI slots, and then there's a half-length PCI Express slot down at the bottom. This looks like a support bracket for the GPU, which is kind of cool. And this GPU is also an 8600 GTS. Interesting. It has a USB on the motherboard, so maybe you could use this, or you could use that for booting server software off of. And it's got 4 SATA ports that are color-coded. I've never seen anything quite like that. There's a black one, a blue, green, and a red. The cables are all red, but they all go to... oh my god, I can't think of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, they do things with stuff. Oh, and there's also a white one there. That must be for the optical drive? Yes, it is. It's got a 4-bay. Hot swappable, well, maybe hot swappable. It's a backplane, SATA or SAS backplane, it seems. Cool. So these 2 machines, I might actually turn into some sort of server. I, again, haven't really decided what to do, but if I do anything, it'll definitely be a server task. Yeah, I'm just really excited to have these. I've never worked with any Sun equipment before. These are not as old as the stuff that I usually work with. They're new enough that I could actually use one of them for my daily machine, assuming I put a GPU in it. Yeah, just really, really cool finds. So this one, I'm going to assume is the same. If there's anything else different or cool inside of it, I will add that to the video, but I don't expect there to be. So there you go, guys. There's a 15-ish minute video on a couple of these Sun workstations that I got out of the recycling. I'm going to make use of them. I'm very excited to do so. And I thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Hello everyone. I've just returned from thrifting, and I found these 2 cool little things. These are iOmega Zip CD devices. They are Zip CD 650s, and I believe there is actually a difference between the two, because you can see the back of the device has different colored plastic. I think that this one is just a regular CD-ROM, and this one is a CD-RW reader, writer, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's got a CD-RW drive, this one just has a regular drive in it. I could be wrong, but I think that is the case, because otherwise they are 100% identical. Both the fronts look the same, the back looks the same. Yeah, really cool. And they look to be almost, I would say, brand new. There's not a scratch on them at all, which is kind of cool. Doesn't even look like there's any scuffs along like where it would have been plugged in. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a power cable for either of these. These were at Goodwill, and they just seem to chuck all the power cables to rare items right in the bin, so that's unfortunate, but I'm sure I'll find one at some point. Either way, really neat find. I paid $5 for each of them, which is more than I really was planning on spending when I went there, but hey, these things are kind of cool, and I've never seen a Zip CD in real life. I don't know if they're rare or uncommon or just purple. That's why I like them. I don't know, but yeah, pretty neat little find. That is all for this video. It's been a very quick one. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everyone. It is Thursday, January 4th, 2018. Welcome to the new year, and hope you all had a good end of the year last year. I just want to update you on some of the projects that I've been working on recently. So one of them, I guess it's not necessarily a project and I can't really even show you, but inside my Sun Ultra 24 here, a little downstairs workstation, I've added a GTX 680. It was a card that I pulled out of the recycling bin. I was told that it was not working, so I figured, you know what, I'll take it home, throw it in the oven, see if I can reflow it that way, and maybe I'll get a good card out of it. Well, I stuck it in the system to test it, and it's been fine ever since. I haven't had to do anything. So I've got a 680 inside of there so I can play some games downstairs if I like, and it seems to be a pretty nicely, a card that runs very nicely for what I need it to do. This is my 2008 MacBook Air. I bought it really cheap, refurbed it a little bit, and now I've got the original MacBook Air, which is pretty cool. You can tell because it's got the flop-down USB on the side. And I'm using that to run my iTV Hybrid, which is connected to the Apple II GS. This whole getting the 2GS to display on something has been an absolute nightmare. I originally thought I could use something like these TV tuner cards that I have, these Hauppauge WinTV, I think they're PVR 150s. I've got two of them, two different revisions, and I've got a newer one as well. I don't know what model it is. But the issue is, and I might be slightly incorrect in the actual specification, but this outputs a 15 kilohertz video signal, something like that. 15 kilohertz sounds right. Basically, no modern monitor that I have will even detect that there's a signal, and even older ones like this Dell CRT that I have, it's not a strong enough signal for it to actually display anything on the screen, which is kind of irritating. And the only thing that I've been able to get to work so far, and I can actually turn it on right now, is by hooking the 2GS up to the iTV Hybrid. Where the hell was the power button? There it is. You can see it comes up nicely. It doesn't look the greatest. I'm assuming that's mainly just because this thing isn't designed to have a signal from this connected to it. It's kind of intended for newer items. Let's see if I can do this two-handed. Come on. I guess it would help if I pressed the right button. Hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. What the hell is it? Ah, there we go. One-handed. Just wanted to get to this menu. So yeah, the issues that this has although it's the only way I can ever connect it because I don't have anything else that supports a composite input. The issues it has are, well, you can see kind of, maybe you can't on video, but there are lines, like fuzzy scrolling lines. I don't even know what to call them. You can see basically all the lines in the screen, and it looks kind of ugly. And it's black and white. And I can't get any color out of the composite output. We can see it's set to color, and it's set to blue, and even if I change this to something else like red, it still shows up in grayscale. Don't know why. And I can't really get it to work. But for just testing, because I can't really do anything with this system at the moment, because I have no expansion cards or any hard drive or any working floppy disk drive, it's good enough for just displaying what it's doing. So the next purchase, I think, for this will be I don't know, some kind of expansion card for it, I think. I'm not sure what, maybe a hard drive controller so I can actually store things on it, or something else. So, attached to it right now, I also have, yeah, this, I'll tell you about this later, that's kind of irritating, those broken pieces of plastic. This is an 800K floppy disk drive. Here's the shell of it. I'm currently working on making it work. I don't know if it works or not, because I can't figure out how to talk to it from the 2GS. I don't know how to do that. I'm not skilled enough yet in the operating, that's not even an operating system, just the pre-operating system interface the 2GS has. I'm not familiar with it enough to be able to read something off the floppy disk drive. Excuse me. Now I've tried burning a couple of 800K disks with this. This is my PowerMac 7300 with the G3 upgrade. It can write 800K disks, no issue, I know that for a fact. But I can't seem to find any disks in a format that I can actually burn. A lot of the disks are in SHK format, which nothing I can find will read or write floppy disks. They're in DSK formats, which I can usually get to write, but there's something wrong with the program that I'm using because it's not intended for that or something. Basically, I can't make any disks on here to transfer into this, and I can't use, which is why I have this over here actually, ADT, Mac ADT, I think. I can't quite get it to work with this. I can transfer the ADT program over here, it boots up, I can interface with it just fine, but as soon as I go to copy something over the network, it'll just hang, and I can't access the floppy drive anyway, and I just don't know what I'm doing yet. So this has been a learning experience for me so far. Yeah, it's been difficult. This here is something I think I've mentioned before. It's my Mac Plus. I bought it for 20 bucks with $5 shipping off of Goodwill Auctions, or whatever the hell it's called, shopgoodwill.com. You can find a lot of cool stuff on there. And I actually have another Plus coming in the mail that's from the same place that I got for about the same price, that should be in better condition. Now this one doesn't work, and I think I know what some of the issues might be. So one of the problems is that there's no chime from the system when it starts up, so there's problem one. And problem two, maybe related to the previous issue, is that nothing displays on the screen, and there's a little bit of a crackling noise. So I think the crackling noise is because there's some sort of loose or old cold solder joint here where the power connector for the CRT is. I think that's what the issue might be. But, of course, with all these old Macs, capacitors and solder joints are an issue with just about all of them. So, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I've got to test all these capacitors, all these resistors, everything else on there, see what's good, see what's not, and try to see if I can find any cold solder joints that I can either just fixed by heating them up again or replacing the solder altogether. I'm pretty sure this analog board is the culprit of all the issues because the main board looks absolutely immaculate. Nothing wrong with it at all. And yes, I know there is some battery corrosion here. It's actually quite bad. It doesn't seem to have gone anywhere that has... It hasn't affected the board at all. So the analog board has not been affected by it. Neither has the logic board. The only thing that shows any signs of wear from the corrosion is the chassis, which I'm going to scrape off and clean up and make sure it doesn't spread any more than it already has. But yeah, analog board looks great. This is just the foam from where I took off the side. This looks fine. Yeah. So this will be a project. I think I'm going to kind of put this off until I get my other Mac Plus, because I think the other one's in much better shape. This one actually broke during shipping, which I was kind of pissed off about. Do I have the... Yeah, I have the piece here. So if I get this thing up and working, I might just try to glue that back in place, because the piece is there. But yeah, it broke off. Something else broke off too, and I don't remember. Oh yeah, the battery terminal, or the battery compartment cover on the back. I just pushed it back in and the tab broke off. So it's expected, but it's irritating at the same time. So yeah, plastics in this one aren't even in the greatest condition either, so I'm really hoping the other one's in good shape. I wonder where that is. I think it might actually be coming here today. If for some reason the other back half of the Mac Plus is in bad shape, I'll probably end up retrobraiding this. I think I've mentioned it before, but it is quite yellow. This is a little bit off-white, and that's the color of the Mac Plus, so it's quite bad. Excuse me. I've also got, as I think I mentioned in the previous video, a couple of peripherals to go with it. I've got the keyboard that goes with it, as well as a mouse. I'm just going to clean them up. I think they'll work. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with them. They're not excessively dirty on the inside. I might get away kind of lucky with those two, but we will see. Other than that, what the hell am I doing? I've got so many projects going on right now. Basically, got a bunch of stuff to sell, post on eBay. I've got all my ISA cards to go through. I'm going to keep a couple, but sell the rest because there's a lot of good video cards and sound cards and other things in there that are quite rare and really deserve to go to somebody who's actually going to use them. Oh, and the last thing that I'm having an issue with, maybe somebody can help me out with this. Although I don't think you can, because I've tried just about everything there is to try. I've got this Netgear switch right here. It's a JGE 524E, I think. It's this big 24-port switch right here. So the other day, I noticed my computers didn't have any internet connection, so I thought maybe the internet's just down. But upon further inspection, it's actually that this switch is no longer giving out IP addresses at all, which is something that it used to do just fine. And no matter how much I reset it or try to reconfigure it, I can't get it to either give out IP addresses or even get into the configuration consoles for it. I just can't do it. And I've tried just about everything. I don't know what else to do. It seems like it's working okay, but maybe not now that I think of it, because I think normally... No, that is correct. I was going to say normally that would flash, but there's no activity right now, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, don't know what the hell's going on with that. It's a little irritating. I hope it's not dead, but I'll poke around with that today and see what I can find. Other than that, I think that's all I have to say. So, got a little pile of recycling here that I'm going to take out to my car and then take to work on Saturday, and that's about it. So, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next tech vlog or the next video.